things that most athletes struggle with is how to properly mentally prepare for their upcoming game or event, where the common approach is often to just physically practice, with most athletes forgetting about the mental side, which causes you to underperform on game days even if you actually have the skills to be able to dominate. And look, this isn't your fault. It's not like you've been given some kind of a blueprint in order to understand how to properly mentally prepare. If you think about some of the best athletes in the world, the thing that allows them to dominate is their mental game, that ability to lock in and stay focused so that they can unleash their full potential. So in today's video, I'm actually going to give you the 3-step framework that we follow with all of our athletes here at Molliteum to give them a guide to mentally prepare for their upcoming performances. All it takes is making sure that you're building your certainty during the week, you're letting go and focusing on game day, and then you're reflecting the day after the game. That way you can finally stop overthinking and tap into your full potential. Let's get started. Hey everyone, my name is Matt Calderoni, co-founder of Molliteum, where we help athletes discover and reach their true potential by building their resilience. And since 2015, we've helped just over 5,300 athletes from the youth to professional level to tap into their extra gear and dominate. I started this channel because I used to be a pro athlete myself, and I struggle with the side of performance, and I don't want you to do so. Now, this episode was actually inspired by an NHLer I was working with this past week, where this individual had all the skills he needed. He knew what he had to do. He was able to play at that level. He's been successful before, but for some reason, he wasn't tapping into that full potential. He wasn't unleashing it. So he tried everything. He tried the repetitions. He tried physically preparing like most athletes do. Maybe you're doing this. He tried everything under the sun, but didn't have something systemized in order to be able to lock in on game day. So when I went up to him, I said, hey, what about, this? Are you visualizing? Are you doing this or doing this? And he goes, no, I'm actually not. So when we walked him through this 3-step framework, he was actually able to tap into his full potential, because what this framework does for you when you have this mental prep guide, it allows you to walk into game day certain, focused, and determined, and that's how you get into a state of peak performance. So when we finally applied this with him the next game, he actually went out and scored. Now, do all cases end like this? No, sometimes you don't score the next game, but I will say, if you follow this 3-step framework, like our NHLer, you will see an uptake in performance immediately. Now, where this all starts is with a simple understanding of what actual mental preparation is, because there's so many times that people talk about it, and it's so overcomplicated when really it's simple. So, here's what we believe in with mental prep at Molliteum. We follow a simple philosophy that we came up with called prepare to let go. What that means is we want to do all the prep throughout the week so you can build a swagger so that you trust yourself, and on game days, you just need to focus. And if you just focus, all that work you've done will get unleashed. It's like when a lot of people say, hey, I want to go into games and not think. Well, the truth is you have to guide your thinking. But what they're really saying is, I want to be able to go into games feeling so sure of myself that I'm able to just do my thing and let go and perform. And that's what we're going to teach you. So here's how this looks over the course of a week. At the start of the week, from Sunday through Thursday, let's pretend all you're doing is building your certainty. This is when you're building that swagger up. You're focusing on the details. You're sweating those details. So let's pretend your game is on a Friday. So on game days, all you need to do is focus. And then, like you can see here on Saturdays, this is the day to reflect this 3-step process. Now, the reason that we start this a week before is because you need to picture this like kind of filling up a bar full of your certainty. As we start the week, it's at 0. But as you put in that work that I'm about to show you here today and do the things we're about to tell you, that meter is going to fill. And when you get to your game day on a Friday, you're going to have certainty going through the roof. You're going to have that swagger. You're going to trust yourself. And all you need to do is let go. So, with that being said, let's dive into part 1, which is building your certainty throughout the week. Now, the reason that we want to start with working on certainty throughout the week is because we want to get you to get into a state of what's called peak performance. Peak performance is when you're performing at your highest potential, you're letting go, and you're just doing your thing. There's no holdbacks. So, like you can see here, there is a formula for it. Peak performance simply is determination plus certainty plus focus. Now, like you can see here, breaking down certainty even further, there's actually 5 things that go into being certain. There's number 1, knowing your strengths. Number 2, learning your opponent. Number 3, visualizing daily. Number 4, practicing your skills daily. And number 5, studying your role models. Now, if you have been walking into performances kind of questioning yourself, chances are you haven't hit one of these 5 things, which is why I'm about to walk you through them right now. So let's talk about these 5 steps and how to do them properly. Number 1, you need to get very clear on what your strengths are. One thing that I see so many athletes do wrong is that they're going into performances not focused on the things that they do really well. They're trying to adapt their game and they're focused on 10 different things. When the truth is, the best athletes in the world know what they're good at and they stick to it. So the way you want to do this, and the simple thing to ask yourself is, what 3 superpowers separate me from my competition when I'm using them all together? Now, on their own, are they going to be special? No. But together, they will be. So for example, when we worked with this NHLer, his 3 things were, hey, I need to use my tenacity on the puck, I need to make sure I'm using my speed to get to the net, and I need to make sure that I'm using my shot to pick corners. Those were his strengths. It's that simple. So take a second right now, understand what your strengths are. Secondly, you need to learn your opponent. Now, this doesn't mean trying to guess everything that they do. You want to know their tendencies, and then you want to know how you can use your strengths against them. So for example, with this NHLer, when we started to understand his opponent, we realized that the team he was playing against was a very defensive team. We knew though that those defensemen were actually pretty slow. So for him, we said, hey, you know what? Let's really focus on using your speed this game, because that's going to be the thing that breaks him down, and then the other two will sort of follow. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. Now, once you understand your opponent and you know your strengths, you need to visualize daily. Now, we actually linked down below an audio track that all of our athletes utilize to visualize better, but let me break down really quick how you're going to visualize. Visualizing is very simple. You're going to do 3 sets of 10 repetitions where you're going to take those 3 strengths, and then all you're going to do is visualize each of those strengths for 1 set. So for example, this NHLer was visualizing himself using his speed and getting to the net. He just visualized himself doing that over and over with the audio track below. The next set, he visualized his shot, and then the last one, he visualizes tenacity. You just need to do the same, do it every day, do it before bed, and it'll seep into your subconscious. The next thing you need to do is actually work on these strengths daily. So you want to take about 5 to 10 minutes for each, do it before or after your practice, and you want to use drills that actually evoke those. So for our NHLer, he just used a skating drill, for example, where he was skating to get to the net and beating a defender. Then he was using a battle drill that he was able to use his tenacity. And then finally, he did about 5 to 10 minutes of just finishing in front of the net to pick a corner. But he did this away from the team. And the reason you need to do this is simply because you need the time to focus in on that so you feel that confidence. Now, the last thing you're going to do is pick one role model for each of your strengths. And it could be the same one for all of them. But you want to pick a player who's already successful at the level you want to go to, not somebody in your own league, who's already being successful with those 3 strengths. So you're going to pick them, you're going to watch how they do it, and then you're going to add it to your game. The reason this is important is because it's like a teacher. It's going to teach you the right things to do, and it's going to teach you how to utilize those strengths and performance. Do this daily, 5 to 10 minutes maximum for each skill, and I promise you, you'll be feeling like $1 million. So all you're going to do is run this back each week, make sure you're focused on these things, and then we can go into now the game day part. So let's dive into part 2, which is focusing on game day. Now, following all 5 of those things that I just told you about, you will have, I'm guaranteeing, certainty and swagger walking into your performances. Now, it's time to get focused. So this is where segment 6, picture 1 comes up. Now, in order to get focused, we're actually going to follow 2 sets of systems that we have here. Number 1, like you can see here, a pregame system, and this is simply a system that calms you down and rebuilds that certainty on game day, aka it flushes out anxiety. And number 2, you're going to have an in-game system, or a focus routine is what we call it, which is simply a system that allows you to refocus consistently in performances. Now, when you combine these 2 things together, you're going to be calm going into performances and get rid of the anxiety, and you're going to be able to stay focused in the middle of performances so you know what you need to do. So let's start with the pregame system. This is a very simple one, and like you can see here, it's a simple checklist you need to follow, and we do 4 things on it. Number 1, 4 rounds of box breathing. Number 2, watching your role models for 5 minutes. Number 3, visualizing your strengths in a game. And then number 4, focusing on your 3 strengths going into your performance. So, to keep it simple, the reason we have you starting with box breathing is because this is one of the best research-backed ways in order to calm you down. And the reason we have you doing 4 rounds is because as you do each round, you get calmer. Then we have you watching your role models so that it reminds you of what you need to do. Then we have you visualizing your strengths again so that it reminds you again and builds that certainty before a performance. And then going into performances, we just have you focus on those 3 strengths. But there is a way, like I'm going to explain right now, in order to focus on those 3 strengths. Let's talk about it. True focus actually consists of 2 things. Number 1, like you can see here, actionable intentions. And that's what we're going to turn your strengths into, which are simply actions that guide your focus or your energy. And then number 2, you need to reset so that you can refocus yourself in a performance. Now, you need both of these in order to work, because if you have one without the other, they simply won't. So let's talk about actionable intentions. So all you're going to do for actionable intentions is you're going to take those 3 strengths and you're going to put an intention behind it. Now, if you think about it, those 3 strengths that you listed out are probably already actions. Think about it for a sec. The NHLer I'm working with, the first action was skating, the second action was shooting, the third action was tenacity. Now, we're going to put intentions behind those. So an intention means a result. So think of my NHLer that I worked with. Number 1, I'm skating to get to the net. Skating is the action, getting to the net is the intention. I'm shooting to pick a corner. Shooting is the action, picking a corner is the intention. I'm being tenacious on pucks in battles. Tenacious is the action, puck battles is the intention. Point is, though, you need to have an action plus an intention behind it. It's not enough to say skating. You can't just focus on skating. Skating to do what? It's not enough to focus on shooting. Shooting to do what? Tenacious for what? Point is though, you're gonna take those three strengths, put an intention or a desired result behind it. So now in a game, it's just, hey, I just need to focus on skating to get to the net, shooting to pick a corner, being tenacious in puck battles. It's that simple. Now, the reason that we have these actionable intentions is because, like you can see here, the energy you emit when you're focusing is like comparing a 100-watt light bulb to a 100-watt laser. A 100-watt light bulb, like you can see, there's energy, but it's going in a bunch of different directions and you don't really hit that finish line. Sure, it might light up the room, but it's not focused. It can't do too much. Now, if you take that same 100-watt energy and put it into a focused laser beam, it can actually cut through a sheet of steel. So what we want to do is when we have those three actions on a game day and they're intentional, it's like cutting through that steel, it's laser focused, and you go into it. So what you need to do next then is have a simple reset routine. Now, a reset routine, like you can see here, needs three things. Number one, something physical that you can do. Number two, a way to refocus, which is simply going back to your focuses. And number three, something you say to yourself. What this is going to do is break your pattern so that you refocus. So what we call it, for example, for different athletes, it's going to end in one of two ways. Number one, you can time yourself. So if you're an athlete that's more endurance based, you can go 3 minutes or 5 minutes. If you're an athlete that goes shift by shift or play by play, like a football player or hockey player, you can focus on a shift or you can focus on a rep. Point is though, you need a reset routine either when you're in the huddle, either when you're on the bench, or after those 5 minutes, you reset. So here's how we're gonna do it. You need to, number one, pick something physical to do. This could be as simple as taking a deep breath in like this. For some of our hockey players, they take their gloves off. For some, they squirt water in their face. For some, they reset their gloves, but just something to cue you. The second thing you're gonna do is remind yourself again of those three focuses. So you're gonna go back to those actionable intentions, right? And this is where you're simply just reminding yourself about what to focus on. And then finally, you wanna have something that you say to yourself to lock you back in. So for our NHLer, when he got to the bench, he put his head down, he took a deep breath in, he reminded himself of the three strengths, and then he said out loud to himself, skate to the net, shoot to pick corners, be tenacious on puck battles, let's go. And then he would go, and that refocused him every time. Now, do you need all of these? No, some people don't need the physical part, some people don't need the language part, but what you do need is a focus part, and you need a start time and an end time. So shift by shift is really how it works. Rep by rep is really how it works. If you're in the gym, do a rep by rep. You don't need to say all three things, but it's one rep at a time. But the whole reason for this, focus works better when you slow down. And so many times athletes don't. So either pick a time limit to do it if you're somebody that's in a net for a long time, like a goalie, if you're a soccer player on the field, if you're a runner, pick your time, then go time yourself and then reset. Or make sure to take it one rep at a time. Now that you can focus in a game, here's the last part, which is the day after a game, you're gonna reflect. Give yourself 24 hours. Don't just start scanning film or watching things or hyper-analyzing. And there's gonna be 3 questions that we use with all of our athletes and that you're gonna use to make sure you can properly reflect. Let's take a look at it. Like you can see here on the screen, number 1, you're gonna rate how well you used each of your strengths out of 10. Number 2, simply write down what you did well. And number 3, simply write down what you learned and what you're gonna do better the next day. The reason that we have you rating your strengths is because anything below an 8 out of 10, you know you need to do better. It's that simple. We say this all the time to athletes. If you're not using something 80% of the time, it has to be better. The reason we have you writing down what you did well is so that you can extract the positives. And the reason we have you writing what you learned and what you can do better is so that you have an action plan going forwards. Simply do this after every game. If you really want to be elite about it, make sure that you're doing it after each practice and use this each night before you go to bed. And there you have it. Simply make sure to follow this step-by-step system. And I promise you, this is what works for our pro athletes. It's what works with our youth athletes. It's going to work for you. You probably just didn't have a couple of these. So if you got some value from this video, please like, subscribe, click the notification bell, leave some comments down below. It helps us grow this channel and keep bringing you free content. Now, if you want to work with us here at Molliteum, there's 3 ways you can do so. Number 1, with a one-on-one coach. You have to apply for this. There's a link down below. This is where you get coaching one-on-one and you get somebody that's personalized to you. Number 2, there's a Molliteum Pocket Coach. Lots of athletes get a lot of value out of this. Again, it's linked down below, but this is 365 days of self-training with me in there, giving you video modules, but also laying out habits throughout the week for you to follow. It's very simple and very easy to use. And finally, there's a Molliteum Insider where we give you weekly resilience skills to train on your own, and it's completely free. With that all being said, stay resilient, and we'll see you in the next one.